Hey class, it is the third week of English 105 online. Another 3 weeks after this, and we will be done for the semester. Before that, though, we need to wrap up the group project. And I thought it would be great for us to take another look at the rubric today, maybe talk about your conclusion, and just give you the chance to ask any last minute questions that you may have before we go on to going over a peer review session between Wednesday and Thursday of this upcoming week. You will be submitting your paper online, and people from other groups will need to respond to that by 11:59 p.m. on Thursday night. That will give all of us 24 hours to read over those comments and make any final changes before this paper is finally due at 11:59 p.m. on Friday. That is April 10th. Before all that, though, considering a lot of us have some extra free time on our hands and we're spending our days indoors, I thought it'd be great to ask, what are you watching during this pandemic? Is there any TV show that you've been really into lately? Or is there anything that you think the rest of us ought to check out? Personally, I've been really stuck in the 90s with the TV I've been watching. I am almost all the way through Seinfeld, and I'm about to start The X-Files. Although, nothing has been really on my mind more than the hit kids show Zoom that I grew up with, considering all the conferences that we had there last week. Did you ever see Zoom? Have you heard of Zoom? Anyway, this is what we did in the 90s, and I'd like you to tell all the rest of us today, what are you watching during the pandemic? I thought the best thing to do today would just be to go through the rubric point by point and talk about what all of these different criteria really mean to me. So I wanted to start off by talking about invention and purpose. That's when a thorough understanding of context, audience, and purpose is responsive to a major problem posed by the scenario. In my mind, this means that you identified a very clear question based on the scenarios that we went over in class, and then came to some sort of particular answer for an audience. There's lots of different groups of people affected by our issues, so it's best to keep in mind exactly who we're trying to solve the problem for. Content development and analysis is a matter of using appropriate content that actually answers the question you set about in the beginning. A lot of the time I'll see essays that will have some sort of thesis statement, but the actual body paragraphs throughout the literature review won't reference things relevant to the answer. Now, if you have some information throughout your essay that isn't relevant to your thesis, you might want to take it out. But on the other hand, it would also be a great idea to expand your thesis statement to incorporate any sort of other information that you see in your content, just to make sure that you really are asking something that is broad enough for all the different information you're going through as you develop the rest of this essay. A lot of what I've had to say about putting your sources in conversation with each other for the literature review is relevant when it comes to the arrangement and audience awareness in this essay. Once again, you should think about who your audience is and what sort of questions they might have. Go between these ideas by connecting the main thoughts in different sections and also in different sources. Finally, you'll see that the only note we have for your conclusion is at the bottom of this section. I'm looking for something that's well supported. To me, that means going back to the information you've brought up before and taking it one step further to show how your original perspective has shifted. Furthermore, you should include some sort of call to action or an idea about what a person or organization, maybe society as a whole, should do now that you and your group have conducted this research. Once again, make sure to bring it back to your sources. Finally, speaking of your sources, don't forget to include independent research. I know a lot of us are still looking for an interview or survey. I know a lot of groups are having success taking surveys through social media like Twitter or Snapchat. So if you and your group are panicked at this stage, haven't figured out your interviewer survey yet, that would be something I would suggest. Furthermore, don't forget to include a range of academic sources as well as other types of sources out there. I'd love it if you cited a YouTube video or a blog or news articles, any other things we've been talking about this semester. However, as an academic research paper, you really ought to showcase the ability to find academic information from scholarly peer-reviewed journals. The only thing we'll be doing on Wednesday will be submitting our papers to the discussion boards so that we can give comments to 2 other groups by Thursday at 11:59 at night. That is mainly all we're focusing on for this week. There will not be any other work besides finishing up your drafts and providing feedback for other people's drafts, as well as today's reflection, which is just to give you the opportunity to ask any other questions that you might have about concluding this paper. I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to check in with me in case there's something that you're not quite sure about when structuring your essay. Also, remember that you can check in with me through a Zoom meeting at any time for this project. So if you would like to go for another conference just the way we did last week, that would be absolutely fine by me. In any case, good luck finishing the project. I hope that you have an excellent Tuesday off and come back prepared on Wednesday to submit your essay for peer review. Until next time, I'll see you there.